Hey guys, welcome. This is Catherine, and this is Little Bits of Heaven Homestead. So thanks for joining us. If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe. So today my topic is self-defense, specifically for women, and I'm specifically addressing conceal carry fashion. But I wanted to give you a backstory. The first time I actively started thinking about and carrying a firearm, I was about 22, 23 years old. And we had this sweet old couple that lived next door to us. They were a sweet older retired couple. And not long after we moved into the house, both their 40-something-year-old sons moved in with them. And they seemed like decent enough guys, but they were aggressive. They liked to put their hands over my fence. They liked to pet my dogs and antagonize my dogs, and then also get upset when my dogs would bark at them. So the dogs got trained that these people would give them affection, but then when they sought their attention, they were also in trouble for doing so. And so we had some kind of verbal altercations back and forth, and at one point I heard this guy yelling in my backyard, and I opened the door and I told him if he didn't want the dogs to be barking, that he needed to just leave them alone. And then I heard a commotion, and I looked outside, and he had jumped over my fence and had tackled both my dogs. And I had a Rottweiler and a German Shepherd. It's not like I had little poodles in the backyard. And he had knives in both hands. And he told me that he was trying to kill my dogs. I went inside, I called the police. They came, they arrested him, they Baker acted him, meaning they put him into some sort of mental holding facility for a minimum of 72 hours. After that point in time, I sought a restraining order from a judge, and the judge looked me in the eye and he says, "Honey, if you were my daughter, I would recommend you start carrying a gun." And so at that point in time, I seriously started considering it. I had young children at home. I worked at home. My personal safety was definitely on the forefront of my mind. So this guy that we had Baker acted and I got the restraining order against, he spent a total of 3 weeks in the mental health care facility, wherever that was, before he was released home. And at that point in time, we had put our house on the market and we had decided to move on. And we found a beautiful little house on a cul-de-sac, and it was a dream. Same situation. We had an older retired couple, just super sweet, next door to us. 6 months after we lived there, their son, who was a convicted sex offender, was released from prison and moved in with them. And he, again, was nice enough, but you always, as a human, have to be concerned about your personal safety. So I am not only an advocate of carrying a firearm, and is the great equalizer for women, but I believe in being proficient. So if you're going to carry it, you need to train with it. You need to practice with it. It's something, it is a tool, so use it as a tool. Don't carry around something that you're unsure that you'll ever use, because it won't do you any good at that point in time. So when we moved to our current home and we were actively in the prepping mindset, safety and security is one of those on the forefront. Being a prepper is kind of a very scary thing. You think doom and gloom all the time. Society's going to fall apart. People are going to come loot you. I mean, it's really like this, oh my goodness, I'm a target. And so that was something that preppers push a lot, is training and weapon safety. So I sought out our local firearms instructor. I took a bunch of courses. So I've done how to sweep a house, I've done night fire drills, I've done several handguns for ladies, I've done a shotgun course, I've done time drills. For a long time I was really active and involved with our shooting club, and it was a ton of fun. So not only did it get over any sort of fear or intimidation, you learn your tools well, and you become comfortable with them, because muscle memory is important. So I wanted to show you, I started with outer waistband. So this is just some cheapo you can buy off of Amazon, kind of crappy. It is either right or left, so depending on what hand you prefer. I was given this one. It's a paddle holster. I like it far more than this one, but I spend a lot of time in the car every day. I spend a lot of time working in front of a computer. And so this kind of dug into me, and it was relatively uncomfortable if I wanted to wear it all day long. But it is relatively comfortable just in general. So then I wanted to switch to conceal carry. And do check your local laws as far as what you are allowed and not allowed to do as far as firearms. I live in a state where castle doctrine is recognized, and so I am able to conceal carry without permit anywhere that is my personal property and or residence. So inside my home, outside on my own property, in my car, and even at our business because it's my personal property. It's an extension of my home. So in order to conceal carry there, I do not need a permit. I do live in a state that in order to conceal carry out in the public, permit is required. So what I started with, and a friend recommended this, and it is just beautiful, but it's a conceal carry tank. And I love this. I wore this religiously for quite a while, and much to my own sadness, the zipper on it started giving. And I was really disappointed because this was my go-to. I wear it out in the yard. It's comfortable for doing things like scooping poop and taking care of livestock. I never worry about the safety and security of my firearm. It was snug and secure. But then I noticed after about a year of wearing this, it too started to flex and give, and the pockets aren't quite as secure, and I started to not feel as great and not as in love with this. So Julie, and I'm sure most of you guys know, I am teamed up with Julie over at Dirt Patch Heaven, and I just adore her. We are business partners in so many overlapping ways. We have all sorts of affiliates together. She was contacted by a company, Tactica Defense Fashion, and they asked if they could send out some conceal carry equipment and offered us to choose any of their line. I'm not sure what she chose. I think she went with the same thing, but I went with this beauty. Check this out. So it is a corset. I had originally considered a corset and went with that vest instead because the company that I purchased from originally, my friend had a corset from them, and she said that it got really loose and her weapon would fall out when she would bend over. Tactica Defense, I am super impressed with this. So they're not an affiliate, they're not a sponsor, they just sent this out and asked us to try it out. And I don't even think they asked for a video, in all honesty. They just said to try it and keep whatever it is that we ordered. So I think Julie and I both got the same thing. This is so much more secure than my vest holster. The material on it is much firmer. I feel like my firearm is much more secure in here. And you guys can see. So I do have my weapon unloaded currently, and that is important if you're not going to be firing it. I do tend to keep it not only loaded but also chambered at all times, but since I was going to do this video and just for safety, I went ahead and made sure that it was clear. So do be aware as you're using your firearms as far as whether they are loaded, chambered, or empty. So always important. But it does have a little Velcro flap to keep the firearm secure in there. And this is a tight fit. It's a nice fit. I really like the material on this. It feels really firm. I ordered a small and it fits right here on the first. I'm a tiny woman, but I expect that this will loosen over time, so I wanted to give myself the flexibility to be able to extend it to the other loops. But so far, I am absolutely loving this. So if you guys are looking for any sort of conceal carry fashion and you are looking for recommendations, I would highly recommend Tactica Defense Fashions. So far, like I said, super impressed with this. That's all I've got for today, guys. Hope you're doing well, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.